Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 93 of The Scope, your source for FPS news throughout the week, discussion, and all-out discussion. I am one of your hosts, Crash. I am joined by two of my very best friends in the gaming community, Buffnerd Gaming and BlueTheRobot. What's up, boys?
What's up?
Hello.
That was almost a professional intro. It was close.
That was pretty good.
I couldn't think of another
also,
word.
you put a B in it. Call me your best friend.
Okay, so
CFS.
tattoos or bracelets?
And he was like,
do we get tattoos or bracelets? Maybe start with bracelets.
Necklaces.
All right, necklaces. That'll probably work.
What if I already got a tattoo? Is that
Or all septum piercings.
Wait,
septum piercings right on our nose.
Piercings that lock together? I don't even know how that would work. I'm freaking out now.
That would hurt. Anyways,
I'm freaked out. It's getting weird. It got weird. Big surprise. Anyway, guys, we have like a really big show today. There's not a ton of huge stuff, but like there's a lot of little stuff. So we'll definitely have a ton of stuff to get through, a ton of stuff to talk about today, get you guys informed and up to date on everything going on in FPS that we saw throughout the week. We had some quick shots at the end. Call of Duty event, Far Cry 7 leaks sound kind of wild. Tarkov Arena reactions probably going to be the big topic of the day. A little bit of Star Citizen from Blue, and then some littler news stories to end the day. So we got lots of stuff to talk about really quickly. Thank you guys for being here. Keep the chat going on the screen so people can watch it back later. See that. Also, tons of people have been downloading it. Thank you guys. If you're listening to this right now on the podcast platforms, drop a review if you want. If I think it helps. I don't even know how podcasting works. I didn't start this to be a podcast, but it kind of is now. Thank you guys so much for listening. There's been a ton of you. Honored that you would download and listen to us as you go out and do your stuff throughout your day, doing life and things like that. We're glad to be with you. So, what's everybody playing? What are we doing? Blue, what are you playing?
let's see. Lately, a lot of going back to Stalker Anomaly, actually.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, recently modded it to hell. Dude, it's like it's a mod pack, but it's still like over 300 mods just within that mod pack. And then going in and fixing stuff. I've had it where like I didn't touch it and then it just crashed every time I opened it up. So it's had its issues, but now I got it like on point. It looks so pretty. It's the mod pack is called Escape from Pripyat. So it's like Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah, I've seen that.
All the guns.
You gotta stream it. I'd love to watch
I do. I've been streaming it the last, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10.
Do you? Okay.
And I've been streaming. I've been playing that lately. And I've crashed and shut up a few times here and there.
I watched it this morning for a while. I had it on my monitor while I was working. It's a
pretty game.
It looks cool. It's old as shit, and you make it look really good. Like you got
it's based off like the 2007, I believe, game. Like off of that engine. So they took it and just modded it to hell. And then on top of that, it's a mod within a mod, or like on top of more mods. It's a lot. So, and then reshade there. But to me, it's the I'm again, same thing with Buff, like just like a huge weapon nerd. It's like all the weapons that are in there are just like all the like AS Fouls, all the like, what was it? Like I just seeing like a Scar H, but like with like a 11-inch barrel and stuff like that, just like little, more tactical.
I wonder if my computer will run that. I'd love to.
If my computer, I have a 2070 Super. I don't know what you got.
I'd have to look again. It's I got this back in 2019, so it's
maybe. I mean, you could probably run it. I would definitely. There's multiple ways, but like, I followed YouTube tutorials like to the T. But I've been loving that, and it just makes me wish I could cover like single player Tarkov, but we can't because we'll get copyrighted. So
yeah,
that's so weird. Yeah, that's wild. No, I watched you play it. It's really cool. I really enjoyed watching it. And Buff, you need to get your computer. You should build a beefy computer. Get the PlayStation. Get it out.
You think to be as buff as you.
Right, dude. You think I went to school for IT? You think I would know how to make my own, like build a PC? But it's
really, I didn't even know that.
It's a different animal for like building gaming PCs. Just a completely different animal.
Yeah,
I'll come over.
You can't be like IT guy at an office and then.
No, exactly.
This is different. Yeah. Well, hey, we'll all get together. We'll get
have a sleepover.
Yay!
And then a LAN party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll have a sleepover and build Buff a PC. It'll be great. We'll stream it. It'll
Love
be
it.
wild.
Hey.
Subathon. I don't know. I'm just throwing out like buzzwords for streamers.
Hey, dude, put an inflatable hot tub, and I'm there. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think that would actually be really good content. Building a PC over a hot tub because you could drop it at any time, so people are going to be watching for the epic fail.
And then like if it's like on Twitch,
yeah.
and it's like it's like little things that just I don't know.
It would be perfect. I think it would work. And if it wouldn't work there, it'd definitely work on Kick, dude.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I streamed on. I've been streaming on Kick.
Almost die.
I've been streaming on Kick a little bit, and it's terrible.
Dude, can I just say real quick too about Kick? I was watching a UFC fight. I forgot who it was. But the fact that I saw on the mat kick.com.
Oh, really?
Like very interesting. Yeah.
Wow, nice. Yeah,
so they're moving up, but it makes sense because again, they're the guys that run Kick are also like friends, like buddy with my
Dana White and the Fertitas.
Dana White. I was gonna say Dana Carvey.
I mean, they also just signed Nick Merckx last week too. So I mean, they're signing
that too. Yeah, but then they also have, like Prime as well too as like their official sponsored drink as well too. So it's like that whole like community just somehow worked its way into UFC fights, and it's also crypto backed up as well too. So that's where I think where the Kick comes in from. So
because they have money, so that's how you can work anywhere if you have money.
They got money.
But I was streaming over there because
so
as you guys probably heard, Twitch lifted the multi-stream TOS ban, so you can multi-stream wherever. And dude, all that came, there was a few people that came by, but almost only people that came by my Kick stream were just bots looking for overlays and stuff. There were a ton of bots. They weren't like the cool Russian sex bots we used to get over here on the show back in the day.
Yeah. Oh my god, I haven't seen those in a while. Actually, now you brought that up. Yeah.
I wanted
to ban that like at least 10 times every like hour. Dude.
Yeah, I wanted Google to get rid of them, but now that they're gone, I kind of miss them. I don't know. It's maybe nostalgia looking back at the sex bots, but
I almost thought I was loved.
I know. It made me kind of like I like the attention, kind of. I guess. So now Kick was rough. Buff, what have you been playing? You still DMZ even though it's dead? Sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud.
Yeah, I mean, I've as I said in the our little roundtable intro. Yeah, I've been doing like a lot of lockdown quads for the XP, which is cool. And then yeah, DMZ. I mean, DMZ because of the Halloween event, which we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, like because it's night, it's actually really cool. I did like a little montage video of some of our night raids that we had over the past couple days. Just it's actually a lot of fun. So I'm definitely really enjoying it. Definitely brings new life to DMZ, and the PvP is just nuts too.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
I know I'm gonna freak you guys out, but I've been playing Search and Destroy and Rainbow Six. Crazy. You didn't expect that from me.
No, that's wild, dude.
Nah, I thought you were gonna play like Animal Crossing or something like that, like you normally would.
Yeah, I usually am grinding the Animal Crossing. There is an event in Siege though, a Halloween event. It's the same one they've had for like 5 years, and they just bring it back every year. But it still technically counts as an event. So there you go. Yeah, not like the Battlefield 2042 event. Which before we get into the plan topics of the day, did you see my tweet about the Google Trends for Battlefield 2042? Silk, it's weird, man. Silk also did a video about it. It was in his video talking about the player numbers are still like 107,000 concurrent players on Steam a day for Battlefield 2042. But if you look on Google Trends, which shows like search volume and stuff on YouTube, absolutely like nothing, like no blip or anything on Google Trends. It's so weird. You would definitely expect to see that on Google Trends. So I'm confused by it going on. There's some weird stuff going on. Also, the Twitch numbers aren't really up that much either. Usually when
I think people are gonna real quick just about that because I wasn't there last week. It was the whole point of just like all the numbers got pushed up, and then some players stayed, and then I think they're gonna realize, oh wait a minute, it's still lacking content. I don't know.
I would think so. I thought they would have by now, but I don't know.
I was watching some gameplay. I wasn't like searching it, to be fair. I didn't search anything, but I had recommendations come up for different videos of like just gameplay and things. that I watched. I mean, it looks cool. Especially, I didn't even know they added the G28 also as a new weapon. Which I was watching some gameplay with that. It looked awesome actually. But yeah, so I wonder if people are just playing it, and as far as videos, watching what's recommended versus like searching, because I don't know. Like what else? What are you gonna? I don't know what else what you would really search as
right
far as
now,
like
other
yeah, right
than just
now.
your normal gameplay tips,
Right.
maybe.
Because a lot
Well,
of the people that I think are coming back to play, like probably are a lot of our players that tried it originally. So they kind of like probably keeping up with it and know, okay, new season, people are saying this and this. Let me jump in and try it for myself.
yeah, I would just kind of figure
Right.
that new players and stuff would be searching for guns and metas and like best stuff to use.
You
And
would think, yeah.
but I don't know. Maybe I'm too conspiracy theoristing. That's a verb now. I just
Maybe.
made it a verb. Um, I guess let's get into the stuff. You want to get into the stuff? Oh,
The
if anyone
stuff.
was wondering,
Ready.
the reason the show was early last week was because of my work trip, and it was awful. So thanks for asking. It was bad. 40 hours of federal employee soft skill training. Yeah. Whew. I lived
Nice.
though. I'm here to tell the story. The first
Dude,
thing,
I am
dude,
man. If you're gonna throw out exciting things like that and make us all jealous, like bring us along next time. Good God.
you should.
Share with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could
Oh,
learn
stop.
about de-escalating conflicts and yeah, how to be
Oh
inclusive
Lord.
and listen to everybody's ideas and effective communication and how to treat everybody with respect. It was
You had to go off site for that stuff? We do. We have like our training. We have like our training portal at our work that we do, and we got to watch like the videos and take the test.
oh yeah, we do that too, but this was once a year our annual training and
Okay.
we're in a field office, so this was our district main like office, so it's not like
Okay.
super far off
Gotcha.
site,
Gotcha.
but yeah, it was fun.
Gotcha.
Here we go. The first thing I have on the list, Buff is up to tell us about the Call of Duty event, and then I have a few questions, I do believe, about this whole
Absolutely.
thing. So what's going on in the game?
So they obviously added like Zombies Royale for El Mazra, and then they just recently, I think over the weekend, added Vondel, now called Von Dead, which is again Zombie Royale, which apparently everyone's saying is a lot of fun. I haven't tried it personally, but everyone's like, this is like bringing new life to Warzone, the Von Dead mode. Um, and I've been playing lockdown quads on Von Dead and stuff, and that I do. I mean, the night maps, it looks really cool. It's definitely a lot of fun. Adds a new mix to it, but for DMZ, they added all these Halloween bosses. So they have like different bosses, Halloween haunted bosses around the map. They have like a haunted train. They have like the Pharaoh, the Butcher in different locations on the map that show up. The UFO. And if you can do what you need to do to activate the boss and then kill the boss, you get like a bunch of loot and rewards for cash, vest, things that you can sell. So it's pretty cool. But I mean, day one we jumped in and we were pushing like the Pharaoh, for example, and even the UFO. And it's really fun, but we haven't beat any boss yet because like it notifies when a boss is being kind of like engaged. And then everyone in the area typically was like flooding there on the first 2 days. So we died trying to fight the Pharaoh like multiple times. It's but it's definitely fun. And I think that's what makes it fun is like people will try and go for bosses, and there's a lot of players in the area player hunting because of that. So the PvP is just nuts. So we've had a lot of good PvP because there's just so much going on around the map. So it's really cool, and you can pick up nods on the map now and use those, which is fun. It definitely just adds like a whole nother layer to the PvP element, but also the PvE element with the different bosses in the nighttime mode. It's really fun.
I saw some of the gameplay and the map looked really cool. Like the lighting was pretty sick.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It's like a perfect balance of dark, and then you have like the different buildings and gas stations are well lit, but then there's areas like if you do have nods and you have the right optic that you can look through your optic instead of can't it, it's a lot of fun. I think it definitely gives you a good advantage to have nods and not can't weapon.
Do you think this is kind of like, did it feel like a precursor or like demo for maybe the new zombies mode, like having the bosses, the AI bosses on the map? Do you think it felt like that's going to feel from what you know?
It's hard to say just because in DMZ is the only place where the bosses are, and there really isn't zombies roaming around. You get like undead soldiers and zombies around the bosses themselves that you got to fight. And so in that part of it, yes. Um, but again, when you're fighting those, you get pushed by players. But we did have a lot of good encounters with like the zombies and stuff, and the AI, like they were no joke, and the boss themselves were definitely very difficult, like downing you depending on which one you're going at. So I think I can definitely see it based on the zombie gameplay that we've seen from Modern Warfare 3. It does seem like when you're around the bosses fighting the boss and the zombies with the boss, it definitely kind of feels a little bit like that, I guess. But obviously, you need to take out the PvP element when you go to Modern Warfare.
There's lots of skins too, which is what I'm excited about.
For what, the zombies or
just Halloween skins that I can purchase with actual money and enhance my gameplay experience by spending lots of money on skins and then buying more skins and showing them off to all my friends and then getting sick TikToks and gameplay clips of me inspecting my weapons and putting them on TikTok for short form content that I also love with skins.
That's the best, dude. That's the best, man. The best. You should buy the big pumpkin head bundle. Honestly, and that's the one thing I don't like I talked about in the opening. Like I'm grinding for that Shadow Company skin, the final level, which I would just pay money. I'll pay you $50 just to give me that damn skin over the goofy Halloween.
Like they went all out with these Halloween skins, man.
Just so much garbage that it's like I look at the store every day, and I was thinking about making like a short, just like of me scrolling through the store and just be like, every day I look at the store, dumb, 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 dumb at the bottom. Cool, nothing to buy. Awesome. Like it's just there's never anything.
Move on,
yeah. Yeah, it's just all stupid every day.
Man, out of all that stuff you said, you know what Activision heard? I'd pay $50 for that skin. Buff, you're part of the problem.
But they don't give us they don't give me the good skins. They just throw out stupid skins.
If you say like, $50 if you say $50 they will.
I will gladly pay $50 for that Shadow Company skin.
No.
Over having to play fucking 35 hours to get to max rank.
Don't
you want to be Skeletor, or the guys from Diablo, or
absolutely not. I do not.
Fucking strange seeing a Diablo character running around with a fucking assault rifle.
It's so weird seeing those crossovers too. Like it is what, and I'm fine with it. I don't care. But that's my one gripe with Modern Warfare 2 is like if you're gonna have all those skins all out every season, throw us a bone. Give me one Milsim skin every.
I mean, that's my gripe every
6
Call
months,
of Duty,
please. Like,
and it always happens at the end of the life, near the end of Call of Duty. They just go crazy with the skins because it wasn't like that when Modern Warfare 2 first came out.
Well, and that's the thing is like when Modern Warfare 2019, I thought it was really well balanced because like I think it was season 3 they started the Milsims, and you'd have like 3 to 6 different Milsims every season after that were legit. Hey, we took JTF2 Special Forces and put that model in the game with all the gear. We took, whatever ones they had, like Balkan Special Forces. They took a bunch of real world tier 1 Special Forces and put that in the game. And then with Modern Warfare 2, there really was no Milsim. There was some more grounded skins, but there was no Milsim.
Well, but it's getting earlier and earlier every year. So if you look at the Modern Warfare 3 trailer, there were a lot of crazy skins in that one already.
Well, there was crazy skins, but I also thought there was a really good balance of grounded, more realistic skins too. And that's all I care about is like if they're gonna go crazy to one end of the spectrum of the craziness, at least let's do like an 80-20 mix. I'm good with. And it seemed like, that multiplayer trailer, like the more grounded Milsim realistic skins, I saw a lot of those. So I was actually pretty happy with that. I know a lot of people were like on Twitter, just like, oh, the Milsimmers are going to be so bad. And I think the majority of my community was like, these good skins look awesome. Like I won't be buying, some of the other goofy ones, but like there's a lot of really good grounded skins. Sure.
I just thought it was odd how it seemed. Most of the trailers in the past were all about like making Call of Duty look like a Milsim, and then they get the crazy ones later. But this one actually had some crazy ones like right off the rip. Like I thought it was like a
Yeah.
very skin-centric trailer for the launch trailer. Which is,
Maybe that means they're gonna do reverse this time and just throw the crazy stuff out front and then come in
yeah,
with the Milsim stuff, right? That's
Sure,
gotta be what
yeah.
it is. That's definitely what it is,
that
guys.
sounds
100%.
reasonable. That
Yeah,
doesn't
I
sound
think
like
it's
the opposite.
definitely something
Yeah.
Activision would do for sure.
Is the Call of Duty community like really just kind of chilling until the next game? I feel like.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I'm definitely enjoying. I'm enjoying DMZ, but yeah, there's really. I mean, we only got to wait. It's like a little over a week till we get the campaign. So
Are they
it's
doing the
really
early
not much.
campaign again?
Yeah, I think it's next Thursday.
Oh shit!
The 4th, I want to say it is.
Campaign, right? Not just the raid missions,
second.
right?
No, it's the full campaign doing the early release. It's Thursday or Friday. Yeah, it's a full week early. So
Okay.
I think it's
All
Thursday.
Interesting.
All right then.
So that'll keep us busy, right? And I like that when they did that last year too, because it was like you do the campaign on a live stream, and then you can look at all here's all the weapons, and then you can also at least the first half of Modern Warfare 2's campaign was like really good. You had some missions. They always have missions based on like real world stuff that has happened.
Events, yeah.
Yeah, and so like it was really cool playing through some of those in Modern Warfare 2019 and also Modern Warfare 2. Like they had the Operation Red Wing type mission in there and some other ones. So like I'm excited to like do. You can do like videos per mission is pretty cool when they have those ones. Nice. You can salivate a little bit over that.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool because it gives people like a chance for the campaign to kind of take center stage. We talked about it last year, like all the work that they do. I feel like if it launches all at once, there's a vast majority of people that just hop into multiplayer and don't ever touch the campaign. So it's good that they do all that work and it allows it to be shown. I think other games could do that too. I think if Battlefield might be doing a separate campaign game, but if they do that, it'd be cool to do the campaign first while people are really hyped about it. I
just want to see Bad Company again.
Bad Company 3, do it now.
The campaigns for Bad Company were hilarious. I remember how funny those were. Those are really good. Like, good comedy in there. So that they need to get back to like that. The Bad Company, if they're going like campaign wise, they need to get back to like Bad Company 2/Battlefield 3 campaigns.
A good mix between those two.
Those are two like very opposite ends of the spectrum. So they got to kind of pick. Yeah, like how do you make the mix or which way they're going to go? But yeah, we'll see.
Sure.
Definitely need some.
You get some veterans on the team, you'll be able to make some pretty good jokes. Now, I don't know if they'd hit with all the rest of the community, but
Yeah, right.
I'll be laughing.
It would be cool to see. It would be cool to see like in the next Battlefield, like the Bad Company crew come back, even if it's not Bad Company related. Like you just have like a mention, or you see them in the campaign or something. That'd be pretty fun.
Dude, it'd be hilarious if the Battlefield 3 team, the Marine squad, or like the Marines met up with the Bad Company 2 guys,
right? And they just like fumbling around doing dumb crap like they would in Bad Company 2. That'd be
man, that'd be hilarious.
I'd like it.
That'd be perfect. But yeah.
Also, in case anybody is wondering, I am drinking my own urine. Right.
You're one of those people.
Everyone hydrate. Everyone
it's
hydrate.
Sterile, and I like the taste, guys. So.
Are we hydrating?
The color of it doesn't look hydrated.
We hydrating? Yeah, bourbon.
Yeah, that's water. That's clearly
there's water in bourbon.
Yeah, there is indeed a level of water in bourbon. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, if we're made up of like 75% water, aren't we just always hydrated all the time then?
Until you're dead, yeah.
Until you don't drink for 3 days and die, yes.
Until you're dead. For those 3 days, you're hydrated.
This is a science podcast.
Right.
Woodmeister with the $10 super chat. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. That's incredibly kind. With the Call of Duty event, it looks cool. I need to check it out because I just kind of want to run around on the night map and then I'll leave. But
night map is probably the best part of it. Yeah.
Because it just looks neat, and I've always been like a sucker for night maps. I think they look cool. I really like the Battlefield 1 ones.
Point shooting. Pew 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 pew.
I loved Neville Knights and oh shit, can't think of the other Battlefield 1 one. The one with all the trenches and stuff. It looked cool. Neville Knights might have been that one, and then there was like Freeze Day to Her or something, maybe.
Yeah,
the other night one. Those look cool, man.
Then Battlefield
pretty
4
game.
did I don't the Call of Duty Zavad night map. I love how the Call of Duty chat turned into a Call of Duty Battlefield. Yeah, but yeah, they did Zavad 311 or whatever there for night, which was cool. That was a community project fun. Yeah, I love night maps, man. That's one thing I was talking about with some community members the other day. Is like we had when we talk about Call of Duty, we had one night map for multiplayer only, and now we're getting the night DMZ and Amazra stuff. But I don't know, for 2019 they had that realism mode, which I was in love with. It had a good mix of night maps. It just made it really fun. Hopefully we see that come back.
Yep.
Nice. Are you guys ready to talk about Far Cry?
Ooh, I'm ready for this topic, man. This
caught me by
interested.
surprise today, and I'm kind of hearing about it as we go. So yeah, we'll work through this together. And take this in, because coming to us via Tom Henderson, shout out, early guest on the program, long time ago, from Insider Gaming, reports that Far Cry's multiplayer game is based on an extraction-based shooter. Big surprise, another extraction shooter. So I'll just give the rundown really quick, and then Buff and Blue can react to it, because it's pretty cool. As reported in January 23, Ubisoft is working on 2 individual Far Cry projects. They split off into 2, headed by Ubisoft Montreal. While both games were under the same banner several years ago under the code name Talisker, management changes in the game's scope changed direction. The result was 2 Far Cry projects. Far Cry 7, which is Ubisoft's next mainline title and is internally known as Project Blackbird, while its multiplayer game is called Project Maverick. Both games are now completely separate entities, with Maverick morphing into a Far Cry extraction-based multiplayer experience. It's understood that Far Cry multiplayer project has changed scope several times over its several-year development cycle, with Ubisoft now set on a game being an extraction-based shooter set in a fictional Alaskan setting named Alashnika. The game's lore revolves around the player being lured into the region with a promise of freedom, only to discover a land of chaos with trust between the people living, between people being virtually non-existent. They kind of mailed it in on the title there. They're on the name of the place.
That really made me laugh. Alashnika. Like, wow, that's pretty good.
Couldn't change it, like, just
Alashnika.
a little bit more.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah. In true Far Cry fashion, players will need to search the environment for resources in order to survive. Resources including killing animals for leather to make gear, finding chemicals to make gadgets, harvesting plants for medical supplies, and finding weapon parts and bullet casings for weapons and ammo. The game features a hideout, which is your base of operations and your safe place to stash gathered weapons, gear, gadgets, and more. It's understood that this new Far Cry game is not only a solo experience, but can be a team-based experience with teammates sharing the same hideout and loot. As expected, that's weird. Yeah, as expected, with an extraction-based shooter, the game loop is focused on gathering gear, leveling up, and purchasing perks. Although sources weren't able to dive deep into what perks entail, it was said that they're directly tied to the leveling system. To level up, players will need to complete in-game contracts so they can purchase perks. It's a high-risk, high-reward game with permadeath enabled, meaning if the player dies, they lose everything, including gear, perks, and levels. The only thing that the player gets to keep is the item stored in the hideout. I guess that's Tarkov. That's not permadeath. Come on, Tom.
No, but that's actually very similar to when I read that article. I immediately thought of Hunt Showdown. Like when you lose your character, all the trait cards that you got are gone, and the only thing that's left is what's in your stash. So there's already a game that kind of does that.
I don't think that's what permadeath. To me, permadeath means like you're starting clear over.
Starting all over, yeah.
Permadeath means like, oh, you lose that character, all the stuff in the hideout, you start from scratch. That's what I thought. So that's that's just standard like extraction deaths.
Yeah. I went through an absolute roller coaster of emotions when I read that sentence. It's like,
unless it's like you choose, unless you have to like make a different. I mean, I guess technically you're making a different character probably every time. Do you have to like, if you died, you have to like redo the character customization screen every time? You know, like that'd be kind of annoying.
People would be pissed.
A release date is currently April 2025. Oh,
wow, that is very
which
out.
is before Far Cry 7. So Far Cry 7 is going to be after that. Holy shit! The game plan to go in alpha for the first half of 2024, so we might hear about it sooner. But dang, man, I'm kind of, if they're talking about an alpha and like starting to tease it like more than a year out, I get tired of that shit.
Well, was this leaked information? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't ready to talk about it yet.
No, it's out there in the wild now. So
Yeah. So what do you
Um,
guys think of that?
I like Far Cry games. I haven't really played since Far Cry 5 though, so it's been a while. This is the last game. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I love extraction shooters. I think that's the way to go. I'm interested in how that hideout with like co-op players works. Like I'm guessing like if you do end up going co-op, do you all you guys are just like running around in the same hideout, like sharing gear, stuff like that. Then if that's the case, whose hideout is it? Is it like can you choose whose friend's hideout you go into? Do you just like share resources together? I don't know how that works out. So I don't know. We'll see. And then you can of course do the solo experience. I'm curious if it's also gonna be like I would assume Alaska. So I'm thinking snow, mountains, hills. Is cold weather going to be a factor as well too? Because I know Far Cry kind of moves into that realm sometimes. So
Interesting.
Yeah,
a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about.
I think. I mean, again, it's so early. Like whatever's said in this article could just completely change or not. There's no way to know what it's going to be like.
It could get canceled by the time it happens. By the time
Yeah,
it gets
true.
next year too.
Just
True.
like that Ghost Recon Battle Royale did. So
Frontline was it? I
yeah,
think, right?
yeah. Which honestly, I was. Take. We talked about that then. Take the Ghost Recon title out of it, make it an extraction shooter, out of Battle Royale. I would be all for it. So like this is definitely appealing to me.
I think you'll like Heartland.
Yeah, that's true. Like I really do like I like extraction shooters more than battle royales, just because I think there's more stakes to them. Battle royales, it's just okay. I'm dead. Let me replay. There's no risk reward for the most part. That's why I love extraction shooters. Like I've never been so on edge and like heart pounding playing Tarkov than anything else. When you're in a gunfight, just like holy crap, my heart, I might have a heart attack right now. So that's why I love extraction shooters. So yeah, I like Far Cry games. Like same with you, Blue. I think the last one I played was Far Cry 4 or 5 when you're against.
Wait, which one was the one when like it was like the cult, like the religious
cult?
I think that was Okay, that's the one. That's the one I played.
Okay,
that's the last one I played.
Yeah,
yeah, same. So I mean, I liked it. I tried to go back and play it recently too, and it's just like it's a little bit too dated on the PlayStation. The controls feel wonky, unfortunately, but. Yeah, I would love to have I'd love to see what it looks like. Hopefully, by that time, they add a lot of weapons. It's fluid, good gameplay mechanics, things like that. Being able to play with buddies would be cool. I think like if there is
like paraglide onto some characters,
right? If there is like a shared hideout, I think that I think that'd be pretty cool if you could kind of like. Hey, we're all going to use it. It's like a community hideout where we all, oh, you need this? Yeah, just take this. I brought it in yesterday. You know what I mean? So I think that like
communication, gearing up with your guys and stuff like that.
Yeah, it adds. It could, if implemented correctly, it could add another layer to the gameplay, which I think you don't want to just copy and paste the extraction shooter formula. I feel like you want to add something that makes it semi-unique for your own product. So that could be theirs. It'd be cool.
I have a couple things, they're more observations. This could be the infancy, the very beginning of games starting to split out campaigns and multiplayers. Battlefield is rumored to potentially be doing that, to have their campaign be a standalone story game and then multiplayer. Halo kind of did that with like free to play multiplayer and then you pay for the campaign. This could be a way for games or in studios, and I'm kind of starting to see this, to kind of make up for inflation without increasing the price of a game. Just split it into 2 games. So I could see them doing that with this. But one day I could see that with COD maybe, and we'll see what Microsoft does with it, where you can buy the multiplayer or you can buy the campaign, and they'll be probably more expensive in the long run than buying both of them together. As far as the gameplay is concerned, I'm still cautious on the end games of extraction-based shooters. I'm also a little bit curious how this will work, and this makes me a little bit skeptical of them doing 2 extraction shooters. They essentially turned Heartland into an extraction shooter with Division. We know that 100% to be true because we played it. and having another extraction shooter, kind of, it'd be like a similar gameplay loop, in my opinion. Maybe not as much with their survival, and it'd be just like a
you
different
also
setting.
got like different game play types as well too, where like Division Heartland still had a bit of a sponginess to the fights.
And it's third person, right? It was
and it's third person too, exactly. So where Far Cry is first person only.
Yeah.
I would assume vehicles as well too will be a factor as well too. So more, I would hope more like an open world environment like Far Cry normally is. So you know,
And-
you could,
and
you know,
you-
I'm gonna insert here, but then I can go all the way around the map and stuff like that. We'll see though.
I guess. So you think it'll be different enough to make sense to have two extraction shooters?
I think so. Yeah. I just wonder and Rain brings up a good point. If they do that like separate games, and I was thinking about that too, how much would this extraction game be compared to Far Cry 7? Is it still going to be $69.99, $59.99? Because then that's where you start running into the issue. Because like, yeah, I feel for inflation and I feel for the devs, like of especially, it's a lot of work to work on a game that has both a good single player campaign that is, you know, immersive enough and has a lot of time and content, and running multiplayer on, you know, FPS servers and stuff like that. So we'll see if I could, if I feel like they could lower the price and still make up for that profit margin. But that's because I do see that pattern as well too. Like you said with Battlefield, Halo kind of technically already did it, like you said. Yeah, I could see that being a thing in the future.
It's creeping me out.
And I was just thinking when you're saying that, I was like DMZ, you know, being free to play, and then look at the support and kind of the bad decisions that were made there. It's like if I'm paying, this goes back to our Battlefield Premium discussion, almost ties in. Like if you're paying 60 whatever for a specific extraction shooter experience, like you are with Tarkov, like, you know, that then you should be locked into support for X amount of time. Like, you know, I dropped 100 or whatever it is on the Dark Edition for Tarkov. That thing's going to be a project. You know, in 10 years, I can go back and play that, and they'll still be making updates. You know what I mean? So
exactly, the servers won't be shut down if you go back and play it. Yeah.
Personally, I would be if a dev team's invested in it and it's not just, hey, let's make a free to play offshoot thing.
And leave a skeleton crew for the, you know,
I'd be
for
okay
the janitor crew.
I'd be okay with paying it, and I think that holds them to a different standard too. Okay, people are paying the money for this, so we need to make sure we're supporting this, you know. But they could just pull a Battlefield and take money.
It's Ubisoft too. Ubisoft, especially with its latest, like you said, Frontline got canceled after big backlash and stuff like that. Which I never played it. I never got to play the beta.
Yeah. I watched it. I thought it had a lot. I thought it had a lot of promise just by watching some of the gameplay. I was definitely looking forward to it.
I'm trying to remember why it got backlash in the first place.
Because it was a Ghost Recon title, and
is that why it just had the name Ghost Recon?
Yeah, I mean, really, people you know, if you're gonna make a Ghost Recon, look at the Ghost Recon history.
That's true.
Look at and it's
that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Sort of like throwing a Tom Clancy Ghost Recon in there.
It's like with X Defiant,
exactly.
Same thing.
The same backlash. Okay. Yeah, the same back. And it's weird though, because like my perfect game that I would play forever would be
over and over again.
A first person Ghost Recon Wildlands / Breakpoint. Like they do I think Wildlands has a mod that someone did on PC for first person. Like, give me that, and I'll just be happy. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think
you're talking
cool
about you're talking about Deef with his like first person
whatever
stuff,
it was. Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but I think it's a good thing to see that they're like branching out a little bit recently from their typical products that they do.
Talking about the first person mod in general? Yeah,
the first person mod. Yeah, I mean the first person mod in general looks cool. So again, going back to Far Cry's extraction shooter, I think it's. And what we saw with X Defiant and what we saw with Frontlines, they're trying new things. So I definitely want to see it come.
I just made a video about like why people like love and hate. I took Stalker Anomaly for instance, but I realized that argument transfers to a lot of extraction games because a lot of those games are very niche. very like hardcore gamers like that enjoy that one life,
Yeah.
oh, I die, I lose everything. A lot of people aren't into that as much as they are your casual, games, stuff like that. And no fault to their own. There's definitely there's a reason why there's multiple game modes for everyone. But I don't think it's as sad as it is to say, especially for the AAA games and the AAA, like that's why indie games do it so much better, like for extraction shooters than AAA titles. Because the profit and the money just isn't there to justify putting that much money into the game in the first place. That's why I think even like Heartland, from the looks of it, it looks like a very like compare. If I took Heartland and then put it right next to the Division, it looks like a stripped down version of the Division, where it almost feels like there's like, I mean, it's different in its own way, but it feels like, I mean, the quality of the graphics almost seems a little bit lower than even the Division 1. The Division 1 looks beautiful, still, I think, to this day. And then I look at Heartland, I'm like, smaller team probably. It's free to play as well too. That's another thing. So I think that's kind of the route. That's another thing too. Would it be better if this Far Cry extraction game came out as a free to play game?
Who knows? I
don't know. I guess it's still way too early to tell for sure.
It's way too early, but again, seeing them try different things, I think is good. So hopefully, it's not like they're replacing the next main title Far Cry with an extraction shooter, right? So I think that gives them more. That avoids the conflict. The majority of the conflict that we saw with Frontline. It's like they, instead of, we want a Ghost Recon, we want a proper Ghost Recon title, and you're giving us Ghost Recon Battle Royale, what no one in the community wants, right? So if they're delivering on the next title in the series and also giving you this, I think that's a good balance.
Yeah, I see.
That should avoid the backlash, hopefully. So have to wait a year and a half to see.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I'm still not 100% convinced anyone will ever perfect the extraction shooter, just because of figuring out how the end game works. I don't know.
It's that end game. I totally feel it. You can only play that so much to then at what point do you just stop? I did that with Tarkov.
Yeah, I think, and this is the perfect segue to our next topic. Blue, you're a professional, man. You're good at this.
I saw it coming.
Yeah, so just like with Tarkov, it's like it's all about the progression, and then once you progress to the end, then it's like, what the fuck are we doing? And
wait to the next wipe.
Yeah, you wait till it gets deleted again, and that's just a weird thing to me. We've talked about that on the show quite a bit too, which is why initially I was excited for Tarkov Arena. Because that was one of my favorite parts of Tarkov. It's like after I put a whole bunch of hours into it and I have enough stuff to buy decent gear and I go out, it might take 30 minutes for a raid, or I have to run around for 20 minutes and get head eyes, and then get another one and spend like another 10 minutes in my menus re-gearing up again to go out. But it's like when you get a sick Tarkov gunfight, repositioning, flanking, listening, healing, like it's awesome. It's really awesome. So I was hoping that Tarkov Arena would just take the good parts out of Tarkov and make it all about those really cool gunfights and stuff. But after seeing some of the stuff, I'm not 100% sure. I'm starting to get a little bit of reservations about Tarkov Arena.
Love how you're wearing your bear hat too right now.
It's not Tarkov brand bear. It's just a generic bear.
But it's close enough.
It's pretty much. Not saying, all right, cancel culture. Not saying I condone Russians. I'm just, it's just a bear hat. I actually got it from Duluth Trading Company, so very American.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard of them.
Yeah. So there was Tarkov Arena gameplay at TwitchCon. A lot of it was showcased, and I wanted to talk about it with these guys and you guys watching to see what you all thought of it. Do you want to talk about it generically, or do you want to start with the sketchy clip?
We can. So we can start with the sketchy. Let's just get that out of the way. I guess.
You want to get it out of the way? All right. The thing that caught a lot of attention from that friendly guy posted over on X, that there was a moment where Landmark was fighting in this. Landmark's awesome player, like probably the best Tarkov player out there. And he's fighting someone in arena, and the guy doesn't even know he's there, and he's fighting Ash IV, who's another really funny guy, and just the desync is incredible. If you watch both POVs, Landmark dumps a whole mag, reloads, and like just dumps a mag, blood everywhere, but nothing happens. And then they go back and show both POVs, and Landmark wasn't even on his screen until later and loses it. It's like, and you could tell Landmark he's at TwitchCon, right? They're playing. So I've heard a couple different takes if they're playing on LAN or not. If this is on LAN, it's really, really bad, because
it's worse.
You're basically taking all the internet issues out of it, right?
Right.
So, man, I don't know. But if it's not on LAN, then it raises a question: why is Battlestate Games always really janky and not playing it on LAN? I don't know why they have to do things like they do. But yeah, it's a wild clip, and it scares the shit out of me. What do you guys think?
I mean, so obviously the clip was like, holy crap, that's bad. But then I went back and watched like the full day one tournament that Landmark posted. And that's the only really real instance you see of that. Maybe one more that's not quite this crazy, but yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Overall, if you look at the whole arena for this one moment, I think it's not
doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, it's not a representation of what the gameplay actually was. I watched that full like hour and a half, 2-hour video, and then I watched the finals yesterday live from TwitchCon, and I mean, just you really didn't see much of this. But I mean, that does definitely raise an eyebrow as far as is it LAN or not, and hopefully it's not something that you see a lot. But the fact that this is the worst instance of it, I think Landmark on the stream said like it had happened one other time, but not this crazy. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain the fact that it was no visual, no audio, and again, either on LAN or netcode. It is crazy, but I will say, like I said, I was originally like, oh man, Tarkov Arena sucks. And then I went and I watched the actual gameplay. And then I saw the game modes as well, too, that are coming along with Tarkov Arena. And I was like, okay, all right. I mean, it's so hard to give the benefit of the doubt to BSG after so long. I mean, I've been playing since like 2016. And it's been a journey. As much, and it's like I want to love Tarkov Arena. I love the one life mode. I think it definitely adds that like suspensefulness to it. I kind of wish there was a bit more of an objective, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of just you die and then that's it. Next round. I wish there was something, even like to give me something to secure, or if it's like capture like the flag, but it's like with a briefcase or something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. But
I will say that watching Landmark's video, like that last game, they were down, I think. Yeah, I mean, basically it's TDM with a one life round based mode.
Yeah,
but they were down 6-1 and came back and won 7-6. It was wild to watch for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I love about those one life game modes, because of those those comebacks, those awesome like stories and the experiences. But it's also like you have like some of the best players in all of Tarkov all playing Arena right now. I want to see what happens when you just put casual Arena players and see how that plays out. I was thinking of that as well too, because it's like, okay, it's Landmark. Like this guy could jump off a building and headshot someone from across the map on the streets. The other thing as well too, especially with that PvE game one as well too. I know a lot of the people that have been always saying and crying out for just a PvE only mode. Now looks like they finally got it with some kind of extraction towards the end from the description of it. It's like you fight wave after wave, then secure and rejective, then you gotta leave the area. So it's like you kind of have Escape from Tarkov there. So I'm curious how that's gonna look. But yeah, and then then you have duel, which is I would assume one versus one. So 1v1 me on Shoreline or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Whatever the maps were. Also, I want to see more maps. I think I want to see by different maps, I want to see a variation because it seems like everything that we've seen is very close quarters, which is the point, I guess, of Tarkov Arena. But I'm curious to see what else comes out of
Well,
it. But again, this is all
especially
under the BSG umbrella, and again, like this just doesn't give me the what's the word? The hope. Oh my god, the word is. I don't feel confident. The confidence that BS3 is gonna release Arena and it's gonna be perfect because this is on a smaller playtest. Imagine when they open it up to the masses, people, different computers, different internet speeds. I think you're gonna have way more issues than what you've had at this little event.
did they even say like when it's launching? Because usually, I mean, when they came out with Streets was like unplayable for a while.
Everyone's thinking December.
Oh wow, okay.
Like early December.
That's very close. That's very close for.
And I was hopeful for it. They did talk a little bit early on about how it would have its own server, so hopefully help with server performance. I was hoping the netcode would be better, but it's always been in the back of my head. Tarkov is such a super cool concept, and a lot of the detail that they've added makes it really cool. That's part of it. And I'm just worried about how that would transfer over to a competitive game mode. And I think some of the detail doesn't really fit a competitive scene. One of the things I saw, so I'm thinking as a Rainbow Six ranked player, I'm thinking about competitiveness, right? Like the competitive integrity of Arena, because there is a ranked mode. So they're going for that. So don't say it's just for fun, Crash. No, there's a ranked mode. We sweating, okay? The first thing is there was an announcer, like the guy was just yelling like all the time.
It was funny.
I don't need that. Funny. I don't need that when I'm trying to listen to what's going on in a competitive shooter. Just some of the netcode and stuff that's inherent with Tarkov was really annoying. I don't know how it's going to work out with earning rubles and stuff. I feel like someone's going to cheese something somewhere where either
that's what I'm worried about too.
To get an advantage with being able to buy the best kits all the time, could put somebody at an advantage. I don't know how that will work.
How does that work? Because is it vice versa, where if you play standard Tarkov,
I think it comes out of your
that credits, or
I think it comes out of your
way where if you play Arena. Yeah.
I think it goes both ways. It just comes out of your overall ruble pile, wherever you play.
See, and then like you could cheese both. I'm pretty sure someone's gonna find a way to cheese Arena. And then I'm pretty sure, especially with that PvE mode, I like imagine there's a way to like farm, scavs and stuff like that, or stuff like whatever it is. Or if you play regular Tarkov, there's still ways to make a shit ton of money if you know the spots to go to.
Yeah, and then somebody's gonna find some glitches.
And for any casual person who just wants to play Tarkov Arena is gonna be at an unfair at a disadvantage,
just like the main game. I'm worried it's going to turn into that, where if you don't absolutely no life this thing, you're not going to be able to buy enough kits to keep playing and having fun.
Exactly. And you don't know how to, I mean, there is a learning curve, and that is a big factor about games like this. There is that really big steep learning curve, but I also don't want to have, I think you were saying it on a Friday stream, like I don't want a spreadsheet of 75 different AK rounds just to figure out which one's the best,
right?
And that's different what medicals item does what. Everyone's stimming during the fights and stuff like that, healing up, stuff like that. Someone can use a freaking propofol and stuff like that, and also have an advantage over someone who has like, how do I bandage my left arm? It's bleeding, it's black. What do I do? Where's my Serve 12? Like, what is a Serve 12? It's just,
dude, but that's the fun part about learning. That was the fun part about learning that game. Dude. I watched like that in the beginning
before. It's gotten way too complicated now. Back in like the early days of Tarkov, when no one knew anything, there wasn't like walkthroughs, there wasn't like Excel spreadsheets, there wasn't like, everyone was on that same playing field of like trying to figure out as you went along. And then now it's gotten so complicated. That's why I stopped like 2018. It's gotten so complicated to the point where it's not fun for new players.
The amount of stims and stuff got, like, because I started playing very early, like January 2020 is when I started playing. And at that, I thought it was still like, it was still really fun to learn, new player, all that stuff. But then there's a ton of stims and stuff like that. So I can definitely see there's a lot there, but yeah, who knows? I don't know the right
I
answer.
think it should be a separate inventory system or a separate money system per
But
game. I don't think it
yeah,
should
maybe.
switch over.
But regardless, like for Arena, I don't know how much. I mean, I saw Landmark stimming and stuff, and they have pre-built classes. I don't know if they were doing if you will be able to do like customized classes. They had like different classes for like CQC, long range.
Yeah,
They
you
had
can
different
choose like
inventory
if you're
stuff.
CQC, you can only choose like SMGs and
Yeah,
smaller compact
X amount of
weapons.
stuff and like 300 blackouts,
Yeah, yeah.
XPXs. So they had all the pre-built classes, which was really cool, and he was running a good variety of stuff. But I mean, I was watching that video. He did say he's like, "What kind of rounds is this taking?" And he was like, he figured it out. He's like, "You got to inspect on the class and whatever. It'll show what kind of rounds
Yeah,
that class has."
exactly.
So the
Is
ammo
someone just
types
using BS
still carry
ammo or
relevant.
someone using AP, like
Yeah, it's still conservative. But again, at least you have the ability to like choose the class you want with ammo. You know what I mean? It's not like you're forced to use something that you found. You're looking at it at the beginning.
right then
However,
and
if you're
there.
a new player, there needs to be something there. It's like 7NP7 is a good ammo. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
yeah. And it's like if people are and most of the Tarkov community fucking toxic. They'll probably just say get good, learn the game, scrub, stuff like that. Like that's not the point.
Well, it really depends on who, because I mean, this is a paid game, right? So it depends on who they're trying to appeal to. Your Tarkov audience is
You know a
going to
price
play
for
this.
Arena?
Are you trying to bring in new players from other communities? I'm sure there's some level of that, which is why.
I can look.
Yeah, I don't know what the price was.
I think that's another factor as well too. Also, yeah, the rounds go super quick.
Yeah, they're fast.
Sometimes as well too.
Sometimes,
they were really fast. Yeah,
There was some
it's either you
decent
had some really good
ones.
like angles that they were holding and stuff like that. Where who's the was it the female on Landmark's team? I forgot who it was. I was watching something.
Emma or M something.
Yeah.
Miss Dunk.
It's like
Oh,
it's
maybe that
done.
was
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And they were like the way they were communicating, like you could tell they're Tarkov veterans. But it was I will say this from a viewer's standpoint, I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was very entertaining to watch it. I don't know how it's gonna feel for a casual player playing it or someone who doesn't. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
But
We'll see.
to go on the flip side, devil's advocate, whatever you want to call it, argue for the sake of we're doing a podcast. The other thing, if you look at the upside for a new player, is at least they're going to get some combat experience in Tarkov. So they're going to get.
That's a good thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get
Yeah,
practice.
training, reps. Yeah.
Because right now, you can run around on shoreline. You might get in a gunfight. You might get domed from the tower up on top of the hill, and you don't even know.
Yeah, that's the
happened,
first
so.
one guy just trying to get that last freaking player headshot.
And that's what was cool
2,000 meters.
watching. That's what was cool. It's like because like you said earlier, Crash, the firefights in Tarkov. When you're in a good gunfight, and I said it earlier too. It's like when you're
Dude, your heart.
Well, your heart, dude. There was a couple times I'm like, shit. I'm like in a gunfight. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, am I gonna be okay? Am I physically as a person making it through this gunfight? You know what I mean? And that's how insane it gets because they're so rare to have good gunfights. Because, like you said, Crash, you usually just like get one tapped by a scav or whatever. So yeah, to see this here, and again, it was really cool to see like Landmark and the other players and the spectators how skilled they are on the gunfights and like what you can expect to see. It takes one of the better parts of Tarkov and makes it a consistent thing, which I think that's fun. You don't need to be like, oh crap, I died, I'm out of weapons. Let me go try and loot for 6 hours to get some stuff for level up.
I gotta play Tetris to get all my stuff.
Yeah, spend like an hour in the stash and then wait for the queue and then run around.
I'm also curious, like,
yeah,
is there stats like recoil stats and stuff like that?
There is in the main game.
You could build up in the main game. Yeah, no, I'm talking
you're
about
talking the software.
Well, these are cut. I don't know if there's going to be make your own class. Yeah, at least I mean they have the default classes, but if you're able to inspect the ammo type, there has to be stats. There must be stats for the weapon, right? Because look at you're still running attachments on the build. Like right here, he's running a Mark 17 in this clip that's on screen. So. And I saw some people running some DSA 58s with drum mags. Like there has to be recoil stats because you're not going to pick those not knowing how crazy the recoil is.
Yeah, but is it like set recoil? That's
Are
what
you
I
talking?
wonder. If
Are you talking about like your strength rating and stuff like that, like your
yeah,
character strength and stuff? That's yeah.
Oh,
I can't remember if I thought I remember him saying, because I remember bitching about it. I thought they said that the skills will transfer. Like, so if you play a
I
lot of
thought
the
so.
main
I
game,
thought so too. Yeah.
so if you guys don't know, in Tarkov, the more like running you do when you're heavy, the more shooting you do, you learn skills. You have like an SMG skill rating. You also have a strength rating, which is what most people are talking about. And if your strength rating is higher, you're better at recoil control. So
yeah.
so there is a world where potentially, if someone grinds the main game, and they'll have an advantage when they come over here, because they'll have
It's a laser
easier
beam.
recoil than someone who's new, which is kind of shitty, but for a competitive
And I hope
game.
that's not the case. For a competitive game, yeah.
But I
I
did
really
see.
hope that's not the case.
I looked it up. I think it's $35 for this. If you own the EOD, you get it for free included.
Free,
So
yeah.
I'll have it to play.
Same,
Not-
same. So that I
not
don't need to
bad.
pay anything for it. I'll definitely try it as soon. We might need to have our inflatable hot tub pool party stream first to build me that PC before I can run it. But after that, I'm just gonna be all in.
After.
Sure.
Deal.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
I like the I just from like a cosmetic and like immersion standpoint, I like the like intros of like the arena for all of them, like the little like like for this one on the with the little like airplane in the middle, like the bus door opens, or then you got like the metal crates or the
I like
just thought it was
that
cool.
too. In the commentary, like if you guys haven't watched it, definitely check out Landmark's channel, and I'm sure some other creators uploaded their stuff too. But right now it's just like I don't know if they're gonna put English voiceover, but it's just Russian,
Probably just Russian,
like announcer, which I don't know what the heck he's saying, but it sounds super cool. It's just like
It's more like
on the
from like a
loudspeaker.
lore perspective. I could just imagine like you're just setting these guys up in like a gladiator arena. And then the announcer is like, "Oh, he just got shot in the face." Like it's just
it's super.
It's
cool.
almost
It
it's
sounds
almost
awesome.
cartoonish, like 80s.
I'm really
I don't
curious
know.
what he's saying. I need to put on like I need the
They
transcript or something
those,
about what the guy
they
says.
have like apparently headphones that like auto translate for you in your ear. If there's like a
I'm
language
just
going
curious
in
what
one
he's
ear.
saying because he's announcing like on deaths and stuff like that, and that's cool
mhm.
because it adds another element to the game, especially with the commentating going. I don't know if that'll be something you can toggle on and off. But one thing I did notice also, and that Landmark commented on, it's like you can't really hear footsteps of other players that well.
Because of the announcer,
I heard
right?
that.
I don't know, no. Like even when the guy's
just
not
in general,
talking,
like
you
I don't
can't
know if it's
really
a
hear
little
footsteps.
quiet, maybe.
Yeah, you can hear your footsteps, but like watching him play, and he commented on it a couple times. Like you don't really hear. I never heard anybody else.
They might
like,
have turned it down.
It almost, to
they might
be
have.
honest,
Yeah,
if maybe, but like I'm curious.
it was basically based on sight.
Tarkov Arena, is it running off the latest Tarkov engine right now, or is it like a different one that they worked on as well too?
We have no idea into that. I mean, they could balance footsteps differently too, because I mean it's technically a separate game, so they could make footsteps quieter.
Because the footsteps can get. I remember when they did that sound overhaul, back in like what 2018, I think something like
They've
that.
done
And
several
then it was,
of them.
Yeah,
but like the main one that the first one they ever did, I think the first main one they did, the footsteps were way too loud. Like I knew where you were, like especially on factory, I knew from across the map where you were just based off your footsteps of you sprinting.
Yeah,
So it was pretty bad. So I'm curious, like what level of engine this is, what version.
There's no footsteps here, so you don't need to worry about
probably
that.
the oldest one, and
or maybe they just tuned it down. Because I mean, think about it. You're in a smaller contained area.
I guess you don't need too much.
You really don't want. I mean, I'm sure there's footsteps, and also you need to
from
keep
a
in mind
perspective.
You also need to keep in mind like they're at TwitchCon. So not only, I mean, yeah, they have headphones, but the noise is going to be crazy regardless. So it's probably hard to hear things.
Hold on, did I just see that around the screen? Did he lose minus 50,000 rubles, or he gained 50,000?
I think he lost because they lost the match, so he lost what he bought.
Yeah,
and he didn't gain any. Because I saw one match he gained like 180,000 or something when their team won.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah, see, and then there's that reminds me a little bit of Hunt again as well too, of like buying operators, and if you die you lose it, but again leveling up skill trees, skill perks. Like I really think I hope that's not a part of the game. And then clearly, again, if you have a good main game wealth, you're good for Tarkov Arena. Like 45,000 is nothing to you for some people.
You want my honest opinion?
Mm.
Here's what I think's gonna happen. I think for me, it's gonna be a microcosm of Tarkov the game. I think I'm gonna go on the same roller coaster. I'm gonna get into it and play it, and I'm gonna be like, "This is fucking sweet." I'm gonna be like, "This is so cool." And then once I get better at it and understand it more, I'm gonna start to see the glaring issues and also the weird design choices that Battlestate Games makes. And the more hours I put into it, the more it's gonna irritate me, and it's gonna irritate me, and it's gonna irritate me till eventually I'm done.
You're back on Siege.
Yeah. I could see that happening. I think it's really cool at first. Yeah. Like the first show we do after, I'm gonna be like, dude, Arena's so badass.
I've never played anything else. I mean, I'm probably gonna be the same way. Like this is something, you know, I haven't played Tarkov in a while, but
the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, I'd love, like I said, I love the firefights in Tarkov. Like I can just imagine us running, all three of us on a team with whoever else is like running this stuff would be so awesome.
I know I would have a good time because again, I feel like everyone I think especially when the Arena comes out, like they'll probably wipe the the base game probably. So I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah,
I think I know I'll have fun though.
I just
for how long?
I just know so many people and have had so many friends go through that Tarkov cycle, man. Like, dude, have you played Tarkov? I'm like, yep. And I can just tell how long they've played it by how excited they are. It's like, this is probably your second wipe, isn't it? Yep, this is my second wipe. This game's fucking sweet, man. And then it's like, dude, this game. It's like, it's probably about your fifth or sixth wipe, huh? Yeah.
I was once a PMC like you until I took a fucking 5.54 or 5.45 to the knee.
That's so accurate too. Like I was obsessed with it when I first started playing. Like for months, it was like, especially because I started playing January 2020, and then that was right before COVID. We hit COVID, and I'd be on every night till like 3 a.m. because I'm working from home the next day. So I'd be on to like 3 or 4 with a group of 5 or 6 guys, and we'd just be raiding. I just like life is Tarkov at that moment, and then wipe.
You're walking around speaking Russian.
Wipe, and it's just, then you got to do the same missions, and then you're just then you do some solos and just get domed 300 times in a row and lose all your money.
Yeah, I think it's the missions.
Why am I doing that?
It's like I can't do them again, man. Like I just can't do them again.
Tarkov, like that's the thing, is like the full, escape from Tarkov, not Arena. Escape from Tarkov is like, if you want to be good, that's like a full-time job. So Arena hopefully offers that more casual, okay, I haven't played in 3 days. Let me log on and I'm just going to, have a good time.
A couple games in.
Hopefully that's what it is, instead of like, all right, it's wipe. I need to grind 52 hours straight to, be where I need to be, right?
Dude, and that's another thing too, just real quick, because I know we got so many other topics to cover. What was it? The idea of Tarkov, when I first heard about it, they were going all on and on about, finally bringing it to an open world. Your hideout would be a thing. Traders would be in certain areas. Like you got to move from place to place. It'll all be connected. And that's like my dream game of like that open world PvP. But I don't think we'll ever see that ever, to be honest. Like as much people will say like, oh, just they're testing stuff in the background. Like I don't think BSG is worried about that right now.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Nikita was joking, but in one of the podcasts, I'm gonna butcher this. I saw
you mentioned that.
Yeah. So in one of the podcasts, they did a break, and someone asked, "When open world win?" And Nikita said, "It's already close enough to open world. If you want open world, play Final Fantasy or something like that." He said some other MMO. I can't remember what.
Dude, that's the thing. I'm not a fan of Nikita.
No. And then a lot of people took that they're abandoning that idea, and they're not gonna do that before they go to 1.0. So
like he's always like, and he wasn't always like that. I seen the progression. Like he just is on his freaking high horse. that he thinks that Tarkov can do almost no wrong.
Yeah, but
to be fair, it really is, like, there is no competitor.
Then that's the sad part. That's the sad part. There is no competitor to Tarkov whatsoever. So he's able to just
and there
talk
never
shit.
will be. There never
And
will.
I don't think there ever will, because no game wants to, again, put that time and energy and money into something as big as a project as that.
I put that exact same moniker on Siege. Like, no one's ever gonna make another one because no one wants to go through the shit that they had to go through to make that game.
But
it's so complicated.
Insane. It's insane because, like, is good. Tarkov. It's a great looking game. The attention to detail, it's so great. And I've always just thought those were my hopes with DMZ. Is like, man, what if a AAA studio actually invested into, like, competing with Tarkov, right? And, like,
but they didn't go all in.
No, and that's the thing is, that's the thing is, like, I don't think no matter what you do, like, that's just more evidence that you can't compete with Tarkov because of how detailed and intricate it is. Like, we're talking. I think it launched in, like, pre alpha, like, or early beta, whatever it was. Like you said, like 2015, 16, or maybe even 14. I remember seeing Frank Camp PC make it the first.
Earlier.
So it's been around. Like, it's not. It's gone through a lot. No AAA studio is going to take on a project that way.
Yeah, no one's busted onto the market and tried to take them on directly in those, like, 7 or 8 years. So,
which is sad because, like, the potential, is there with, like, you look at, like, Call of Duty's engine. Like, man, could you imagine if you had, like, Tarkov on that type of engine would be sick. You know what I mean? So,
and you know what? And that's another reason why it's like, again, ND is the way to go. Like, I look at Road to Vostok. As much as it sucks with the whole Godot, changing everything and stuff like that. Like, the roadmap of, like, eventually it'll become PvP. You die, you lose all your gear and stuff like that. Like, but when is it's gonna take forever for that.
Right.
So.
Agreed. Should we move on to Star Citizen?
Oh, shoot.
Let's do it.
We got a lot to cover.
I don't know any of it, though. I don't know. Buff, are you familiar with it? Because I'm just
I have no idea. No idea what's going on.
No idea. I got a list.
Dude,
There's a lot that happened.
I have, like, nothing. I don't know anything. So I'm just gonna probably be listening to you. I don't know.
I mean, so you guys, have you heard of Star Citizen, like, before? Like, of it, it's a space sim. Yeah. So recently there was CitizenCon that happened, and we knew a lot of stuff was going to happen before then, such as their recent update was Alpha 3.21, which brought in a new ship, and people were excited about that, new mission, stuff like that. So that's all cool and all. New FPS areas, such as, like, there's a planet where now it's like there's different platforms you can go land on, exit the ship, shoot the bad guys, get money for that. But then CitizenCon happened, and that it's been 2 years, I believe, because of the pandemic and stuff like that. So they've had a lot of time to kind of, like, get ready for the CitizenCon. And I think, and this is my first CitizenCon that I've paid attention to. Like, I've heard of them before, but I always thought it was just a bunch of space nerds in, like, a convention center, like, talking about a game that'll never exist. But now, as an actual, like, player of it and checking it out, CitizenCon happened this weekend, and it was pretty massive. But I'm also, like, on the, what's the word? I'm very cautious because apparently a lot of people have said they've done this years and years before. They've always put out some of the coolest looking things, and then they go out and then they say, they don't put a release date on anything. And then you're waiting another 2-3 years till the next CitizenCon to finally get into it. So that's what I'm like. I'm, like, very cautious of, like, getting super hyped. As much as a lot of this stuff is, like, I mean, there's so many games like that nowadays. It's just, but then again, Star Citizen is on a whole different level, I think, because of just the amount of money that's been behind it. The amount of, people are spending $20,000 working 12 jobs, having 3 kids, just going all out with this game. And see it, dude, it's crazy to see some of the stuff. So, as much as I love what's happening, like, there's, like, the little things, of course, you got, like, new clothing and hair physics, like, little things like that. They look great. It looked pretty, don't get me wrong, but some of the biggest things was server meshing, which was they showcased a quick demo of it, but the thing is, it was like a 4-player demo. So it wasn't like on a full scale, like the entire planet full of players. And that's apparently supposed to like alleviate a lot of the server bog down and stuff like that. So we'll see when it comes to that. And then of course a bunch of like new FPS stuff. There's like destructible environments maybe and coming into there's because you have the campaign, which is coming out maybe 2-3 years now. I don't know. We'll see. That's a whole different another ball game because dude, it's so hard. It's hard to talk about it, but they've showcased so much. So like you also have like a new system that was actually showcased. Like they showcased this whole new system called Pyro, and it's gonna be like no man's land, gangs versus gangs, different like FPS moments and stuff like that. The shooting looks great now, especially in their single player. And there's even like weapon jams as well too, which could be a cool little mechanic that comes on through. And then base building as well too. They showcase some base building, so you're gonna have like frontier bases, farms, probably some mining and ore and stuff like that. Your own little personal hangar they showcase as well too. You can like load your ship, bring it up, open up the ramp, bring a tank in there, bring a jeep, whatever it is. You can. Yeah. It's very intricate, very detailed, but of course the community, the people that were there were like, I'm so glad I was a part of, Star Citizen community. I'm glad to be a part of you guys. And then there's the other crowd that's like, this game's a scam. It's never coming out. It's never going to be a thing. You guys are wasting your money. Get off the copium. It's very divided right now, which sucks because I feel like from a new person from the outside looking in, like Chris Roberts is like the main guy behind this. He's the guy that made Wing Commander back in the day, and he's calling Squadron 42, which is their like single player campaign mode, the Wing Commander of our generation. And Wing Commander back then was a pretty big deal when it first came out, just like space sim of its kind.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, that's a pretty big like thing to say, but they did say that their Squadron 42 game mode, which is again like it's got like a star-studded cast: Gary Oldman, Mark Hamill, wow. Mark Strong.
Whoa.
My gosh, the guy who played Indiana Jones's father. He's in there too. Yeah, wow. I forgot his name. I just saw his name today, but
Sean Connery.
No, it's not Sean Connery. Sorry, not his dad. It was he was in the movies, not his dad. It was the other guy. Shoot, not Sean Connery. He was in Indiana Jones. I forgot his name. He had like a little the little like red fez hat.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about now. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. He's got like that. He's got like accent, but he's in it too.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, not Indiana Jones.
Gillian Anderson.
But
that's what Phoenix said. He's in it. You said that.
All right, maybe. All right, I have to double check. But anyways, like again, star-studded cast. The facial animations have all been reworked. Like the amount of like emotion that you can see on someone's face, just in the cinematic, and apparently it's gonna be like super fluid, super. It's almost like it's the dream game for a lot of people, especially if they take a lot of these aspects and bring it over to the persistent universe, which is like the open world multiplayer version. Like everything from like the way the water looks, and they improved on that. They improved on the what's the word, animations and stuff like that. They remade a bunch of stuff. They changed up the UI, for the map, the player UI, ship UI. It's a lot that they've done. But I'm curious to see how much longer we have to wait, because they showcase all this. Chris Roberts comes onto the stage, he's crying, he's emotional, like everyone's standing up, round of applause, standing ovation, stuff like that. But there was no set date again. So it's like,
is it this guy?
Right, cool. You say it's feature complete and it's in its polishing phase. Yeah. John Rhys Davies. That's his name. Yeah, he's in
the same guy from who played in Lord of the Rings.
He's in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. He played the elf. I can't. Why am I blanking on his name?
Did
Well,
he?
Gillian Anderson is in it too, though. Gillian Anderson is like a
Oh,
female
yeah.
captain.
Not the
in there
elf. He
too.
played the God. What am I doing right now? The dwarf. Yeah, with the axe. That's who
Oh,
he
he
is.
did.
He did, yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But seeing again,
Gimli.
especially like the
Gimli,
biggest
yes,
thing for
thank
me, yeah.
Jesus.
The biggest thing for me that I took out of it were, or I guess biggest things was, of course, a new pyro system. So it's like the first new system outside of Stanton, which is like the main game now. And the Squadron 42, like all the physics, the way things interact with each other, the AI feels like it's like what Starfield should have been after 25 years of development almost. It's like
Yeah.
it's to that point where like the AI seems like it could be an actual player next to you interacting with the world, stuff like that. So
But then there's people
Um,
that think it's a scam because they made billions of dollars and it takes them forever.
exactly. So I don't. I mean, they're also like I'm looking at it from the outside looking in as a new player, and the work that they've done from what I've seen is pretty intense. Like rebuilding engine after engine. Like they've gone from the Cry engine first to then Star engine, or I don't know. It's like there's a big history with that, and they've like made some different technology and stuff like that for it. I wouldn't say it's like from scratch. It definitely built upon different things, but I'm also like, again, trying not to be like, oh yeah, well then this game is perfect, it's ready to go, it's gonna be the dream game. It's like it could crash and burn. Like there is that possibility that it could just crash and burn when it comes out, bugs everywhere. Like this game is still riddled with bugs. Don't you go play Star Citizen right now, it is not the experience that they showcased at all at CitizenCon. And it was just a really big moment for Star Citizen. I think I was watching Level Cap and Salty Mike, which is another prominent Star Citizen creator, and seeing, I mean, Salty Mike cried, like emotionally, like he like physically cried, and he was saying, and he kind of said it like in a good way, where it was like there is like a bunch of stress, I guess, upon the shoulders of a lot of those guys, and seeing it kind of get lifted off. Like you could see Chris Roberts get out there again, be emotional. He can now show you things instead of just talking about it and showing prototypes. He can now show you stuff.
Those graphics are sick, though.
Yeah,
the dude, it's so good on that video. I would highly recommend you watch that video in its entirety.
It could just be a pre-rendered scam to get billions of dollars.
It could. I don't work for CIG. I don't know.
We could have a Battlefield situation where the freaking trailer team is amazing, but they don't know how to build a game.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. I always say if Star Citizen is bogged down by server optimization and its bugs, but the content alone, the universe, the detail is great. It just gets bogged down by server optimization and all the bugs. Because when the game works, and I've gotten into some servers, like there's like a server FPS counter, and 30 FPS is where you want, not as in like in-game FPS, like you want server FPS to like between like that 30 at the tick rate, pretty much, yeah. And when it's at 30, it's a whole different game. But it normally it's at like 3 to 4, sometimes 8 if you're lucky. And the AI just doesn't know what to do. People are running into each other's ships. People are spamming everywhere. Elevators aren't showing up. So, and then you look at this, and it's just like, I want that game.
Yeah,
that's the game I want.
Sweet.
So,
Jeez.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and I think that's pretty much kind of all I got. Again, it's like I said, it's a lot of little things added up together. And again, I'm pretty sure if I brought in someone who's like a Star Citizen expert, they can go more into detail. But I'm still learning the game as well too. But you can't. At least you can say that whoever the media team is over there is doing a great job.
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna wait.
You can at least say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait until Blue's
also,
like, you got to play this, and then I'll.
Yeah, I'm not saying that now. I will say though, their arena mode, which was like their PvP modes, their racing mode. They have like a tank royale. a couple of us got together and like it was on with American Riot. He got his community, and we got some like team based, first person shooter stuff like that. And there's a part in like there's parts of those maps that you can like jump off the platform and go into space in 0G and then shoot the guys from above or below and stuff like that. And the actual like FPS PvP portion of it feels very good in that area. So yeah, I would say that's pretty much it for Star Citizen, because again, we'll keep an eye on it type of deal.
Yeah.
It's not going to be done for another
10-15 years.
10-15 years. I mean, I'm not going to say yes or no for that, but I could see like at least for like their main campaign, because again, I think if once their campaign story mode is done, they could start taking a lot of those assets and stuff like that and then start really working on the persistent universe.
Yeah, that'd be like I would love to see what like that end product or closer to end product.
And it's awesome. Another game too that just doesn't hold your hand as well too.
That's
so like
good.
when I first went in, I had no clue how to fly. I'm looking at keybinds, how to heal myself during a fight. I'm running into the ground trying to land my ship, not knowing that I accidentally turned off some thrusters that was supposed to be on. Now I'm just flying around in space endlessly. I'm on cruise control, not realizing crashing. So like it doesn't hold your hand, and you definitely need some people to help you out with. But once you get it and you're able to work cohesively as a team and go bounty hunting against players and sniping from afar. I mean, they even showcase some like bounty hunting gameplay at CitizenCon. Like you like go up to a player, knock him out, then you like cuff his ankles and his hands together. He's like tied up and stuff like that. So I don't know. And this is gonna be like again peer to peer and stuff like that. So they did say a lot of stuff will be done by the end of the year, but it's not, I'm not expecting the game to be done by the end of the year. So
yeah.
Nice.
Iterative release, I'm sure.
So yeah, it looks insane from an outsider's perspective. So hopefully they can deliver on it because they're rich.
They're pretty dude. I mean, like if I'm actually kind of curious why you're going on to the next thing.
Like where they're at. Do you guys want to do a few quick shots, or do you want to table those until next week because the show's going kind of long? Up to you guys. What do you think?
I mean, the only one I had was Silica. I can kind of hold off into that. We'll see.
Yeah, I didn't really have any quick shots, so I'll leave it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we can wait.
None of mine were pressing. We can table them to next week. We can talk about Silica.
I'll get some footage. I'll get some footage of Silica that we can play it next time, because
sweet.
The stuff that I was gonna talk about, it's like I can't show it right now because we don't have any footage. So.
On my list, there's a lot of stuff because I had Dead Drop. I had Vostok put out new stuff, put out new audio. The Halo BR, Silica, like
that is a lot.
We have a lot.
We could talk about Halo. Hey, you know what? We could talk about Halo BR real quick, only because I think that's more relevant right now. It won't be relevant next week. I'm not saying it's gonna die next week, but it's definitely like, look, shot. It's brand new right now, so
okay, we can talk about it super quick. I say, off the rip, if you want to get really good information, Blackout, friend of the program, he did a really good video on it that talks about all of it. He actually got the people that made it, the Forge Factory, Forge Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
They
Forge Falcons.
Yeah, they answered him on some questions. He asked him some questions.
Oh, nice.
And
sweet.
They reached back out to him. So Blackout did an awesome video about it. So yeah, essentially, if you guys don't know, a group of, and I learned this from Blackout's video, but he has some more information. You need to go watch it. 3 full-time people and 3 part-time people in 3 to 4 weeks built a full-featured Halo Battle Royale in Forge. Some of the map is procedurally generated, which is really cool. You drop in, it has a gulag, it has objectives you can capture to get loot and stuff. So it's in Forge. You can find it in the server browser and play it. It's missing a few things. Some of the things look rudimentary, but they built an entire BR map in 3 to 4 weeks, guys. So with like 3 full time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's pretty crazy. So it leads to me a lot of questions. Like why hasn't 343 made a BR? What happened to Project Tatanka? Remember? Like we would talk about Project Tatanka, like they were allegedly supposed to have one. They teased those images of the Spartan dropping down, saying where we dropping. Like they've teased it. People have wanted it, and finally these people are just like, well, we're gonna make it. So I worry again. It's something really cool. If this was fully featured and done and promoted, it would probably be insanely popular. I think we're going to see, personally, I think we're going to see the issue that we see with a lot of user generated content and mods. No one's going to know how to find it. The general masses aren't going to take the time to know how to find the server browser and the Forge, how to add an experience and find matches. It's not very straightforward. You can do it. And it's just a shame because it's pretty cool.
I hope
and
some
they should be commended.
big content creators talk about how to properly find it. Like if Jack Frags makes a video on this, stuff like that, the big ones like that, like mention in the beginning, please, like, all right, this is how you go grab it, and this is, this is how you go find it, just to help the masses.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Crash. You got a big channel. Okay, I'm looking at you.
What do you mean? No, I don't. Buff's the big cat. Buff's got all the subscribers, man.
People love guns, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, me too. Guns. You got me. So anyway, that's something to check out. There should be some articles and stuff on Reddit with how to get into it. But for more information on it, check out Blackout's videos. A really, really good place to start. He put some really good information together on it. And hopefully 343 does their own, because I think a lot of people would play it if it was easy to get to.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to hear the funds raised for Star Citizen real quick?
Yeah.
You know what? I want you guys to guess.
Is this crowdfunding or right?
Technically crowdfunded, yeah.
300,000.
Oh no. It was like, wasn't it like 100 million or something?
Oh my god. I hope the number I'm seeing in chat isn't right. Someone in chat guessed 560 million.
Close. 616,839,446.
What? Dude, what the hell?
And it's over 4.8 million players.
That's fake. That number's fake.
I don't think it is, man.
There's no way there's that many players.
Dude, one person I know has spent at least over $20,000 in this game. I know personally. I can hit him up, but like, hey, it's how much? Telling people how much you spent. He gets a little embarrassed about it.
Oh my god,
this game might be too rich for my blood.
It's
there's like no way. Like, I'll just be real with you.
PC, dude.
There's no way I'll ever play this game just because I know how competitive I am, and if I like it, I'll just like that'll be it. There goes.
And that's the thing though. You could just play. You could pay $40 and be fine.
Yeah,
you could, because you can earn everything in game, every ship, every cosmetic.
Okay, so people are paying for things up front then.
Dude, people are paying for things that haven't even been built yet, like as an actual.
Jeez.
Like, it's concept art that they're paying for.
No thanks.
It's crazy. I'm like, that's crazy, dude. Like,
Buff gets hooked on it, and he's in a laptop in a cardboard box in the alleys where he lives now.
Yeah,
spent all his money on Star Citizen.
Buff, did you move again?
Jeez. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a whole different sphere of gaming that I don't understand.
That's why
I still don't understand it. I'm like, dude, I gotta go get groceries for the family. How are you kidding? But then again, there's people that I've talked to like, oh yeah, I've built a business, or I've gotten, like, I work this like not secret, or like super high paying.
Yeah, I mean, if you're making like
I make $100,000 a year.
If you're making like quarter mil, 250 plus a year, I guess I could see myself dropping some, throwing money around, but
yeah, but like to 20,000 though, like that's a.
Nah, I mean, there's no
great down payment on a house, on a car.
Unless I'm making like Elon Musk money, I'm not dropping 20.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure someone went broke owes it. Actually, there's a story of someone 100%. Actually real quick that got a divorce over it.
Jeez.
I'm sure that happens all the time.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
Wow. What a
Anyway.
world.
But anyway,
But yeah, and we have some good topics for next week, and then we'll throw the new Sandstorm update in that mix also. Should be a good one.
Wait, there is
I
one?
did see that.
Yeah, they've been
yeah.
teasing it, so that's going to be coming. I don't know. I don't think they had a specific date yet, but yeah, new operation coming, new update, weapons, cosmetics, everything. So that'll be something we'll cover next week. Definitely looks like cool.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
Yeah, this show could have been like 3 hours long. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next
All
week,
the stuff.
yeah. So next week we'll have Dead Drop. There's some Vostok improvements with keeping up with the switch over to the Godot engine. Apparently there's a Sandstorm update coming. Jeez, lots of stuff. Silica. Player IGN also leaked a 10-cent game. Man, there's a lot to talk about. So next week's show is already pretty full. So it's a great teaser, guys. You should
Yeah, gonna be a good one.
should come back and check it out. Yeah, it's Sandstorm's final update before they work on a Tarkov clone. Wouldn't surprise me.
I feel like those guys could do one.
Yeah, please. Like I'm for it, man. I love Sandstorm. That game, like Jesus, give me, and especially like coming up with. We're still waiting on the next gen update. If that ever happens, or just their next title.
Yeah.
Like, that's that.
I feel like NWI could make that though.
Yeah, dude. I've put a stupid. I know, like I play COD and DMZ all the time, but the amount of hours I've sunk into Sandstorm is pretty.
Yep. So, all right, guys.
Yeah.
I think that's a show. That was a lot. There's a lot next week. So stay tuned to the program. If you guys do want to support it, be a friend, tell a friend, and bring someone back with you next week to hang out with us while we talk. Appreciate you guys hanging out so much. Everyone downloading it too. Shout out, as always, Blue and Buff. Thanks for hanging out with me talking about video games. It's always really fun. And yeah, we already got a pretty good show shaping up for next week. So come on back. See you guys.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.